Hey guys, welcome to LeetCode 1, 2-sum. So let's say we're given an array of numbers 3, 9, 4, and 12, right? And we're given a target of 13. In this case, in our mind, we can see that 9 and 4 add up together. So in this case, we would just return indexes 1 and 2 in our own little array, right? So this would be our solution to this array of numbers and this target. Given that this might be your first LeetCode challenge, I'm going to present a very simple solution. Maybe not the fastest solution, maybe not the most efficient solution, but it will be, hopefully you'll understand how easy it is to solve solutions like this or problems like this, right? So in this case, what we want to use an integer array because we're going to be storing and returning our values, right, for our indexes. We want two for loops. One loop that's going to pick our outer loop is going to pick our first number, and our inner loop will pick our second number, right? And then inside of that inner loop, we're going to then compare our numbers, or rather the sum of our two numbers picked to the target. And then if it's equal to the target, we're then going to return our indices that we've managed to come up with. So in this case, we're going to do an integer array, right, which we'll call indices, and we'll have a new integer which will store two indices. That should be int with 2. Cool. Now we want a for loop. So for int I equals 0, we want I to be less than nums.length, and we want to increment our I by 1 every loop. So this is our first loop that will pick our first number, right? So I will represent our first number, the index of whatever our first number in the nums array is. This will be our second loop, which we'll call for an integer j, which will call to start always one index above or one index after I. Reason being that we can't use the same element twice. And so we want to compare, let's say, index 0 and index 1, which would be index 0 would be I and index 1 will be j. And we want to compare it to our target. So that's why we start from index I plus 1. Now we want the loop to run for as long as j is less than nums.length, and we'll call this j. Cool. Right, so next we want the if statement, which does the checking of our checking of the sum of our two numbers I and j. So in this case we can do if nums I plus nums j equals target. Then inside of our if statement we want to set our indices, so indices array, so the 0 index in indices array, we want it to be set to whatever I is, and we want to set our indices 1 in our array to be whatever j is. There appears to be one too many. No, it's fine. This is just a bit messed up, but that's fine. And we can then return our indices. And if we go to our result, there we go. Like I said, it's not the fastest runtime. Sometimes it has decent memory, sometimes it doesn't. Depends on the memory allocation is very similar for all submissions on this. So it's not this can sometimes come back as 10%, 5%, or it can come back as 94%. Doesn't matter. But anyway, hopefully that was a pretty easy to understand solution. Like I said, it's not the fastest, but it is a very easy to understand solution. So anyway, please let me know if you want to see an optimized version of this code or an optimized solution. Otherwise, if you still didn't understand, please leave me a comment and like, subscribe if this helped. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.